guys, F4H Rosso here with another video on GT Sport. Released last week, so this is the first real kind of commentary I've been able to do since the game released. But I hope you've been enjoying, the daily race videos. I've got a few more coming up over the next couple of days. A lot of them will be in this kind of format, focuses on the circuit experience aspect of the game. Getting to know a few of the new tracks and a few returning tracks as well that we've played in other games before, doing a bit of a comparison, I guess, between how they've been represented on games like Forza and Assetto Corsa versus their representation in GT Sport. So it's something I'm quite looking forward to. Today's video was actually going to be on the Nürburgring, but I then discovered the Alsace Village track, which is, I don't know how to pronounce that, by the way. If I've absolutely butchered it, I apologise. But yeah, I discovered this track last night, and it is absolutely fantastic. One thing that the GT games have always done really well is their original track lists, and this one is no exception. All the original tracks on this game are really quite spectacular. I mean, Dragon Trail is already a fan favourite. Maggiore, again, absolutely fantastic, and Alsace, which I discovered last night, is also brilliant. This challenge, basically, the circuit experience events are events broken down into tiers. So basically you tackle each sector at a time, and then at the end, when you've learnt the track sector by sector, you do a one-lap challenge. We're going to focus on the one-lap challenge today and what it takes to get a gold medal. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a lap and then show you the replay mode, and then afterwards we'll have a little, I guess, commentary on how I did what I did, or what we need to do. So for this one, the gold medal time basically is a 1:58.9. So let's get to it, see what we can do. Okay, so now that we've seen the lap, we're going to have a look at how it was done. We're going to do this from chase cam, because I think it's probably the easiest way to look at track surroundings and what the car's doing and things like that. I will be pausing and unpausing the replay as we go, and then I'll probably just roll the replay in its entirety afterwards, so you can see the lap uninterrupted from the Gran Turismo cameras rather than the chase cam, because I think the replays in this game are absolutely awesome, so it'd be a shame not to showcase it. So let's break the lap down and help get you that gold medal. So basically, first sector, or the first corner even, we'll break it down corner by corner, probably a bit easier. The way I've done it on this, my exact setup, basically I've gone traction control 2 because it allows the car to get out of these slow corners nice and easy. You can just basically mash the throttle. It makes getting out of them nice and easy. Traction control off is probably faster if you can modulate the throttle, but the whole aim of these videos really is to try and get these challenges done as easily as possible. So we'll use traction control 2 for this one. I've also got the cone markers set to on. The reason being, a lot of the tracks don't really have a lot of environmental cues to help you decide where to brake and things like that. So the cone markers are something that aren't as obtrusive as a racing line or anything like that, so you can really still appreciate the realism of the game, but something there for you to have a look at. So I'll be using those quite a lot during this lap. So let's have a look at the first corner. So basically, we're going down into the first corner. I think it's fifth gear even. And we're going to brake just before these cones. So just here on the left-hand side, we're going to brake hard and down to second gear for this first corner. Try and late apex, because basically you want to be carrying as much speed as possible into the next sector. It's a fast flowing sector with a flat out left-hander, so you want to carry as much speed out of this right-hander as possible. So we're going to brake just before these 2 cones and get on the power nice and early on a late apex. You see there, I just clipped the apex where the second cone is. It allows me to get on the power nice and early. Gives me a great run down into the second corner. The second corner is completely flat, so we're going to skip that out completely. Just pin the throttle, keep it to the inside as possible, and prepare yourself for this one here, the right-hander. Basically the right-hander, again, we're going to be using those double cones on the left-hand side, a recurring theme in this lap. We're going to brake at those double cones and down into third, again with a late apex to give us, you know, the momentum possible for the next sector. It's kind of a theme of this track. Basically, you go through long sweeping turns with late apexes, because usually they're followed by a nice flat section or a long straight. So yeah, just before these 2 cones on the left hand side, we're going to brake hard and down into third gear. See again, nice late apex around where the cone is, down the power nice and early. Now this next corner we're going to let it run through. Just a little lift, and you'll see on the outside, you can see some blue hay bales. You want to be getting on the power around about those and preparing yourself for the next right-hander. Again, brake around the 2 cones and square off the turn and get on the power as early as possible. Again, we're going flat through the next turn. And this one's quite difficult actually. So you're unsighted, cresting over a hill into the next corner. What I would suggest is just before the crest, down a couple of gears, keep the car in as tight as possible. You can get on the power surprisingly early out of this turn, as you'll see. Basically, as you apex on the power straight away. My favourite turn on the track now, this one. Almost flat. Resist the temptation to drop down into 4th gear here, because it really plays havoc with the balance of the car. If you shift down to 4th there, it basically pitches the car in really hard and unsettles it, compromises your exit and makes that corner more difficult than it needs to be. So hold it in 5th for that one. Now probably the most difficult sequence of corners coming up now. The last sector of this track is very tricky. You want to be turning in here and literally just as you turn in on the brakes. Now usually a rule within motorsport really is to do your braking in a straight line. For the fastest possible route around these next 2 turns, you really need to be braking as you turn in. Trail the brakes slightly. You kind of want to be ignoring the left-hander as much as possible because basically the left-hander is there to set you up for the right, and it creeps up on you really quickly. So turn in, get your braking done, down into 2nd gear. Really engine brake for this one as well. And on the power nice and early. Next corner is kind of an unsighted uphill left-hander. Just a lift for this one. So just a nice lift. Sets you up nicely for the uphill drag to the last 2 corners. Now on this lap I make quite a large mistake, and I left it in on purpose really, just to highlight, you know, where the braking point is for these last 2 corners. You'll see me, I fly by past the braking point for the first right-hander, which really compromises my exit from the second. So basically we're going down into this corner here. I should have broken about here, leave it a bit too late, and that's it, fine margins. Basically it leaves me 5 metres off the apex, and I'm having to desperately scramble back for the left-hander, basically. Now, we're on the home straight. You want to be keeping it as close to this wall as you dare. Usually, if you're accelerating out of the last corner, it brings you quite close to the hay bales on the outside, playing dare with them a little bit. And get as close to the last corner and take the straightest line possible to the finish to complete a lap of the Alsace Village for a gold medal. I hope you found that video entertaining, guys, and hopefully informative as well. Hopefully it shaved a couple of seconds off your lap time and helped you get the gold. There'll be a few more of these coming, so to see similar things or content from daily races and other racing games, feel free to like, comment and subscribe. Let me know what you liked about the video, what you didn't like, even if it's my horrible Derby accent. I'm going to leave you with a replay of the Alsace Village from the Gran Turismo replays, and thanks for watching. See you soon.